Hey everybody, welcome to the DDC Studios YouTube channel. As always, this is DDC Studios owner and publisher David Hayner. And before we get to today's topic, like I always like to do, I want to remind you to hit that subscription button if you haven't already. And also ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any of the mini comic goodness that we post on here 2 times a week. And also, if you're enjoying this video, please smash that like button. And always, please, feel free to leave a comment down below, as Dylan and I both welcome any and all feedback we can get our hands on, both positive and negative. Okay, now that we got the housekeeping out of the way, let's get to today's topic. And just so you know, I am recording this on Monday, August 9th. As you're listening to this, I recorded this yesterday. And there was some really big breaking news in the world of mainstream comics. And yes, I know this is a mini comics and indie comics YouTube channel, but I think that this news item can potentially impact the world of mini comics, and it most definitely impacts the world of indie comics. And that is the news that broke this afternoon of Batman writer James Tynion IV leaving Batman this November, as his contract has gone up and has expired, and he is signed on with Substack to produce a handful of original creator-owned comics that he will retain the publishing rights to, and retain the IP rights and all of that good stuff. And right now, I haven't seen any actual confirmation. By the time you're listening to this, it may have been fully confirmed. It sounds like Jonathan Hickman of, formerly Fantastic Four, and now formerly X-Men fame, is also going to Substack with what I would assume is a fairly similar deal that Tynion IV is also going to be working under. And then, of course, as everybody who kind of pays attention to comic news knows, this is kind of all headed up by Nick Spencer, the soon-to-be former Spider-Man writer. That's kind of, it's maybe a little more complicated than this, but basically he's starting a comics division of Substack, if you will. Now, why is this going to have repercussions on indie comics and maybe even mini comics? Well, you need to, look at this. We are dealing with 3 of the highest profile writers in the big 2 going today. The writer of Spider-Man, the writer of Batman, and the architect of the X-Men line right now. The current architect, or recently past architect of the X-Men line anyway, have all jumped ship from mainstream comics and is now going exclusively indie comics. And more to the point, they're doing a somewhat subscription-based model, if you will, with their comics, at least digitally speaking. So 1, this really ups the profile of independent comics, obviously, and 2, we have another player in the game when it comes to a Netflix-style subscription-based comic service. Now, both Marvel and DC have had their apps on the market for quite a while, and to be perfectly honest with you, at least myself and a lot of my colleagues will say, we're not really interested in the recent releases that they had to offer, but it was tempting, at least to me, to check them out just for the back issues. Just because, it'd be really handy to have the complete run of the original Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 at my fingertips, on my phone, on my tablets, and on all of my other devices. And to be perfectly honest with you, I did check out both apps for a few months. I read and scanned through pretty much everything I was really wanting to as far as back issues were concerned. And the interface was really nice and things of that nature. And honestly, if there were books being currently released to these apps, I probably would have continued my subscription to one or both of them. But considering I really wasn't into the new crop of books, it was kind of a waste to continue on. But with the news today, it really got me thinking that a subscription-based model for various independent comics and also mini comics would be something extremely interesting to look at. In my opinion, yes, you have Substack, but my understanding is that the normal Substack model is going to apply. That you're basically going to have to pay kind of per creator, if you will. So you need to essentially subscribe to James Tynion books and Hickman's books and so on and so forth. Once again, I could be wrong. This is just my understanding, as it's still in the early stages. And if that's the case, that's going to get extremely expensive for potential comic readers. But once again, if you could set up a online streaming service basically for comic books, independent, small press books for say $5 a month, or even a little less if need be. I honestly think that would be an interesting way for a lot of small press, indie and self-publishing creators could maybe get their books onto a bigger digital platform than just selling them piecemeal basically online. And that's pretty much what we're looking at right now as it stands as a small press creator. If you want to release a digital comic book, the best way is actually, just like your physical books, to sell them yourselves. And oddly enough, I have already recorded a video that was planned to upload today, that we've now since pushed back to Thursdays, that actually discusses kind of the ins and outs of how to publish your mini comic and your small press book, self-publish it on the internet digitally to sell. So basically kind of think of this week as Digital Week here at DDC Studios. But yes, I just found the news that broke involving Substack to be extremely interesting. Is it going to lead to anything? Only time's going to tell. I refuse to speculate one way or another as to whether, they're going to be successful in their endeavor. But I will say this, they are taking some what appears to be on the surface level to be some very correct first steps in what they're wanting to do. Now, once again, just like with everything, time will tell. Right now, they're mainly hiring writers. So what kind of artists are we going to see joining these writers on their new books? What kind of artists are Substack going to be able to hire? So yeah, it's something I'm actually going to be keeping a close eye on, especially if Substack starts going with a full subscription-based model to where, you subscribe to basically quote-unquote Substack comics. You never know. It could actually be a boon to indie comics and small press publishers, especially if they open it up. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, as we're coming up pretty close to the 10-minute mark. As always, I want to thank you ever so much for listening to me jabber endlessly on a topic of my choosing. If you are enjoying the content that we're putting up every Tuesday and Thursday, please, if you haven't already, hit that subscription button and ring the bell for notifications. And also, if you like today's video, smash that like button, and also please feel free to share it on your various social media accounts, as just like with regular mini comics, we do really lean heavy on word of mouth to help this little mini comics channel grow. And like I said at the beginning of the video, please definitely leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the content that we're providing. Now, speaking of content, if you are interested in checking out what DDC Studios has to offer, all of the DDC Studios mini comics that are currently in print is located at the Webstore link in the description below. You can also pick up a lot of original art, ranging from sketch cards to sketch covers, commissions, and basically everything in between. And we also offer some really awesome bundle deals for both mini comics and art. And also, if you'd like to take your fandom of DDC Studios to that next level, hit that t-shirt shop link, also in the description below, where you can pick up one or all of the various official DDC Studios t-shirts. They're available in all sizes, and they're only $20 a piece. And finally, please feel free to follow us on both Twitter and Instagram, where we post almost on a daily basis with all sorts of mini comic goodness. It's also a great source of news and information when it comes to up-and-coming DDC Studios releases. And also with Twitter, if you follow us on Twitter, it's the only way you will be able to see the weekly uploads of 101 Ways to Kill a Stickman. So yeah, once again, that's going to do it for today. We will have another video up here in just 2 days' time, kind of the continuation of DDC Studios Digital Week here on YouTube. So once again, thank you ever so much for listening. We'll talk to you later. Bye.